Tim
Yes, sir.
O'Brien here in Studio B. That song makes me tired. The lyrics.
Yeah, well, we got a good holiday weekend started here, so just remind everybody what they get leave behind for a few days.
Yeah,
They're
exactly,
working.
exactly,
Get that
exactly.
grill going,
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
top.
I hope everybody can do that, and definitely be safe with the fire and everything else. I mean, come on, but have fun. Tim, it's great to have you in the band here. Let's start with the introductions because I think listeners will know all of these folks that are with you here today.
Well, I'll start with back on the big bass from the great state of Maryland, at least these days. Living up there near Annapolis, Maryland, an old buddy of ours, and subbing this weekend, Mr. Mark Schatz on the bass.
All right,
Yeah, give him a hand out there in Radio Land.
they're clapping. Trust me.
He's at the very back of your radio if you're looking at it. Over on the left of your radio on the fiddle, the little fiddle from the state of Michigan, now living in Nashville, Tennessee. One of my favorite fiddlers in the world today. That's Mr. Shad Cobb on the fiddle.
All right.
And, and beside him, and between Chad and me, is my partner in life and also in music now from the great state of Kansas. Her name's Jan, and they used to call her Jansis around the bluegrass festivals because she was from Jan from Kansas. But now she lives in Tennessee with me, so we call her Janisee.
All right.
That's Jan Fabricius on the vocals, and she's going to play some mandolin later. And over on, last but certainly not least, on the five-string banjo from the great state of New York, and came down today. We met him at the Charlotte airport and drove over here today. And I was really pleased to have as a special guest today, Mr. Tony Trishka.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yay.
Trust me out there, you can feel the power in this room. And we're loving it. We're loving it. And you guys are out in support of the new album, Tim O'Brien Band.
Yep. Yeah, we're out playing. We've got some gigs this weekend. We're in Asheville and up at Big Stone Gap at the festival up there. But yeah, we're happy to play the music for you. We just kind of love getting this 3 chords and a little groove going.
Well, I was thinking as you were singing the first song, the theme of that song, and I'm thinking, man, that's kind of appropriate for you and for these other guys, a lot of them too, because, when you look through the legacy of our roots music, how many times do you see all you guys' names on album jackets or CD covers or whatever in liner and notes? You guys work seems like all the time.
Well, we try to keep it busy. We play all the time. They say bluegrass musicians will travel great distances to hear themselves play, and but we do actually play for other people. I know that we travel for a living. We play for free. So yeah, we're always gigging. We're always gigging.
That's right. Okay. Well, I brought some notes from your career, and I took a ream of paper to print it out. But we may mention a few select things, but we want to focus on the music, the new album and all that. I'm sure. Are you guys ready to scrub off another one?
Yeah, we want to sing one by. This is written by Little Joe's son, but I heard it first by Big Bill Bruce.
Digging some potatoes here on a Friday afternoon with Tim O'Brien and the band in Studio B, WNCW. Love that tune. Sometimes the listeners get into suggesting things, and not too long ago on Going Across the Mountain, I had a requesting listener say, hey, they requested your song, and they said, and sometimes they give me ideas too. They'll say, why don't you team that up with another Tater song? So I grabbed Jeff Scroggins in Colorado, Sometimes Dig for Taters. Boy, it made him happy as a clam.
Yeah.
I thought, we're just going to do an all tater set.
Taters
here.
and clams, you started to make me hungry, Joe.
Yeah, me too. Well, Tim, it's great to have you here. I was going to mention, we have Shad on the radio too with his work with David Greer. We've been playing that album. Great work on that. I bet that was, he didn't have a microphone over there too much to talk into, but anyway, I did want to mention that while we're here too. And I'm thinking about all the awards that are standing in the room here. In case you all are just tuning in, Tim O'Brien and band are in here, and we've got Shad Cobb, we've got Janisee. We have Mark Schatz, Tony Trishka, along with Tim here today. So I'd say an all-star band here in Studio B.
We feel pretty good. We feel like we're shining okay.
Yeah.
Even that's why I got my sunglasses on. Kind of don't want to get too bright in here.
Well, you wear those on a rainy day too, because when you're cool, the sun shines on you all the time.
We were a little late pulling in, as you know, so I just kind of jumped in and
I didn't notice.
tuned up, and we're playing like 5 minutes later. So it's good. It's good to be able to do that.
That's what when you have much experience as we got standing in this room, I wasn't surprised at all. Because I'm sure you've gone through more harrowing experiences and still played as well.
Yeah, it is really kind of the easy part is playing. You get nervous until trying to get to the stage, and then everything's fine.
Yeah.
At least me.
Well, I got to tell you, in all honesty, we've been pretty excited about this visit today, and in recent days, there's been all sorts of music played from your history. I've grabbed. Well, you did a song for us on our very first Crowd Around the Mic,
Wow.
2 years ago.
Wow. I didn't know.
With Molly, and we played off of that. We've played some stuff from the Oh Boys, and
Well, you've made it the station very receptive to the musicians in our line of music and the acoustic and kind of country and folk music. It's not every place we get to stop in when we want to. We might not be welcome in there, but it's nice to be here.
well, on our side of the mic, we feel the other way around, that artists like you all have helped to help us build this radio station, and the listeners respond because it's music that they like.
Well, it connects everybody together. It's a powerful thing, radio, and but like we're all links in the chain, I guess. You got to have the audience, you got to have way for people to hear it, then you got to have somebody to play the music. So, I guess we got people listening, and we got all three cylinders, or I don't know what other cylinders we need. Those are pretty good ones there. 3-cylinder bluegrass engine.
We're not a Hemi, we're just 3 cylinders, but all right.
We're gonna try to sing a song for you. And this record, it's kind of like the normal sort of combination of some originals and some covers and some traditional songs. And the covers on this are all by friends of mine, Dirk Powell and Hal Cannon. And this is one written by, I didn't know Woody Guthrie. We did a song by him as well. But this is one by Norman Blake, who's been a hero and then a good friend, really, over the years. And I like singing this song.
WNCW Studio B, Tim O'Brien and the band, and Last Train from Poor Valley. That a great song just keeps alive, doesn't it? It just that's a
Yeah, you can't break that one. I love that song.
that is a great song. It's a great song, and that's on the new record,
Yep.
the eponymous record. We call it eponymous, Tim O'Brien Band. I guess that's close enough, isn't
Yeah,
it?
that'll work. I've got all these records with my name on them, and I guess it's still got my name there. But it's nice to sort of call attention that there is a band, and we play in this kind of format more often these days, and I'm really enjoying that.
Yeah.
Had different lineups all through the decades, I guess, but I'm liking this getting on the guitar and being a bluegrass guitar player and fronting the band. It's kind of I never got to do that, and always been the sort of guy that played the mandolin or the fiddle. Always sort of fitting in where I can.
Not even as Red Knuckles. You were.
Well, I can't comment on that guy's career. I don't really know him. Do you?
Yeah,
I really don't know.
He shows up once in a while.
I've never really heard his music.
Oh, okay.
I know that he's often booked in the same events as.
Well, I'm bound to ask you this. I would have killed to been there at the 40th Bash for Hot Rise. Your personal insight. How was that? I mean, just.
Well, it's kind of mind-blowing to mark 40 years. Sort of goes by and you don't really think about it. And it was kind of heady. It was kind of, in one way, it was just like every other day. But of course, we had a lot of friends, special guests on stage with us, and that was really heavy and wonderful to have Jerry Douglas and Sam Bush and Stuart Duncan. They're all guys that kind of, we kind of grew up with them. Certainly, we kind of maybe in the wake of Sam and Jerry a little bit, but we were all kind of growing at the same time. And it just it was wonderful to be together. And then all these people came from all over the country to see us. And I don't know, it's kind of weird, but it was a good idea.
Did you suddenly think, hey, man, I don't know if I really realized the effect that Hot Rise has had on people, music for people over these years?
You hear it. I kind of hear it, and I guess a little bit in other. I don't think about it so much, but I hear songs on the radio. I go, oh, they're kind of taking a cue now and again from what Hot Rise did, and we were just trying to play bluegrass music as close as we could, but we couldn't help ourselves but be Hot Rise. Growing up listening to rock and roll and jazz and stuff, and coming up with a certain thing, and I don't know. It only sounds like that when we play together. We can't do it separately. We play Hot Rise songs without them there is kind of weird. It's kind of, I mean, you can do it, and it's fine, but it doesn't sound like Hot Rods until
Yeah.
we all four get together. So it's great to play with those guys, and it still is.
Well, I'm sure that was a gala event in a lot of ways, and a packed house probably as well.
Yeah, it was a great thing. You know, people were very excited, and we were. It was contagious. It was very contagious. Anyway, we'd like to sing another song for. I think we got to go, don't we? We only got till. Or what's our time limit, Joe?
Well, we don't really have a super
you don't?
strict time limit.
Okay, cool.
We usually go about 30 to 40 minutes on a Studio B session, but we're happy to have you all here, and I'm certainly not going to go stop.
Well, we're going to get in the key of G. Let me try to get my finger picks out. Jan's got the mandolin. We can do a song that.
And a dandy-looking mandolin it is.
Yeah. We got a song that I wrote with a guy named Dan Auerbach, and he's half of a band called the Black Keys, and they play nary a bluegrass note as the Black Keys, but Dan knows the bluegrass and old country music, and we got together and wrote this song one day. He thanked me that we recorded this. He said, nobody ever records my songs but me, so that's kind of cool. And Jan and I'll sing a duet on this.
Tim O'Brien and the band here in Studio B, Amazing Love. And the new album is Tim O'Brien Band. Easy to remember. And I didn't write down your show here in this area is
Grey Eagle.
Saturday?
We're Sunday,
Sunday.
day after tomorrow at the Grey Eagle, yeah,
In Nashville.
in Asheville, and so we're going up to Big Stone Gap to play a festival up there. That's in Southwest Virginia tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Grey Eagle on Sunday.
Grey Eagle Sunday.
Good venue.
Yeah, I love playing in there.
I'm foreseeing a nice crowd
Yeah, I think
at
it'll
the
be
Grey
nice.
Eagle for you guys on Sunday. They are WNCW supporters as well, so we appreciate that. You know, I was noticing, I'm only mentioning this because today is Bob's birthday, but I remember your Red on Blonde, and
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, did you have a chance to hang out or work at all on any of that with Bob Dylan?
No, haven't heard from the great one. I don't think Bob has my new number, for one thing.
Well,
He didn't have my old number either. But,
oh,
no, I heard some, secondhand reports that they listened to the record on the bus. And, of course, like every record I've ever made, there's a few mistakes on the lyrics on other people's songs. Almost every time I think I've made a mistake on what the lyrics are, and I wonder if he kind of commented on that. I'd like to know, but I never did hear. But his management company was nice enough to, give us a friendly rate on the songs. We did, I think, a dozen songs, and they said, yeah, you can get a discount there. That was nice of them.
Cheaper
But,
by the dozen.
Yeah, cheaper by the dozen. But geez,
from a man who could basically charge whatever he wants for people to use his songs, I would suppose.
I know, and it's but we're Dylan's always on your mind. You're like there's every story about everything that Bob Dylan does is a Bob Dylan story, just like everything that Bill Monroe does is a Bill Monroe story. And we had a few of those on the way up here, didn't we, Tony?
Yes, we did.
Tony, what have you been doing lately?
What I've been doing lately?
Step
Come on over here and talk on the
to
mic.
us, Tony.
Have you been out of the country lately?
No, but unaccustomed as I am to public speaking. No, speaking of Bob Dylan, I just did a series of Bob Dylan gigs, not with him, but of his music. We call ourselves the Early Roman Kings, which is named after one of his obscure songs on his last album of his own tunes, and called Tempest. And we do a whole bunch of Bob tunes and all sorts of some kind of true to the way he did them, and ukulele and vocal on "Don't Think Twice" and things like that. But
Who plays with you in the?
my son Sean, spelled S-E-A-N, and a gentleman named Stash Weisslouch, who was a force of nature, and a great bass player named Jared Engel.
Okay.
So we kind of play up in the Northeast generally. May, Bob's birthday, time to
Yeah.
celebrate.
Is this just gigging, or do you have something recorded that is out there for us?
No, it's gigs. People say, "Why don't you record something?" But how can you beat Bob?
I don't know.
That's how I look at it.
Good point.
Yeah.
But then there, it's kind of hard to beat Tony Trischka too, if you want to look at it the other way.
Well, I'd rather not get beaten, but whatever. Just saying.
Yeah. Well, all right then. Well, happy birthday again to Bob Dylan. I mean,
happy birthday to Bob. Geez, what birthday would it be?
78.
78.
78. That's right. And
All right.
we've been digging the Bob music all day, and all of the cool covers people have done to honor him and everything. As many as we could get in there, I guess, without driving people crazy. But I mean, but a very important birthday for a station like us. Kind of like yours, Tim, and yours, Tony, and yours, Mark, and yours, Shad, and yours, Jan. We like to, any of our friends, we like to make sure we wish them a happy birthday.
I wish we had a Bob Dylan song rehearsed for you, but we don't.
Oh,
But I'll tell you what we could do is we could do a Woody Guthrie song. So we'll try that for you.
all right.
This is Pastures of Plenty. Like Dylan, I think Woody Guthrie knew a lot of traditional music, and whenever he had a new lyric, he would oftentimes find an old melody. I think this one's pretty much close to a lot like Little Maggie.
Oh, yeah. Tim O'Brien Band here in Studio B. Pastures of Plenty is on the new record, right?
Yes, sir.
And that is Tim O'Brien Band. You've been hearing it a lot here on WNCW, and you will continue to hear it.
Thanks for playing that stuff, you guys.
Well, it's our pleasure. All right. Online, if folks want to find out more about you and the band and everything.
Yeah, they can probably find out way more than they need to at timobrien.net. And the tour dates are up there. You can see what records are out there. And I don't know, we have some announcements now and again about different things. Jan's big into the social media and managing the website, so maybe she can tell you more about it. What's coming up for the Tim O'Brien Band?
I figured all of you were on the social media as well, Tony and Mark and Shad, all of y'all, I'm sure, aren't you? Folks can find you pretty easily, right?
Yeah.
And they can find you.
MarkShatz.net, by George.
Thanks, Mark.
Check it out. The touring dates are very outdated because I don't have someone to help me with my website. So, but a lot of great stuff on there.
Well, Mark, I would have thought you had people. Isn't that what it's called? People that handle all that stuff for you.
Yeah, I've got people, but they don't handle that stuff. I don't know.
All right.
Jan and I are going up to a big event on January 8th up in Annapolis, Maryland. That's
June 8th.
June 8th, January 8th. Make sure that's the right J month. Yeah, we'll be there in a couple weeks for the Footworks 40th annual celebration.
Anniversary.
It's anniversary, yeah. And it's going to be exciting because it's quite a legacy that Eileen Carson and her troupe. And Mark, I don't know how long you've been in the group.
Well, probably about since I started hanging out with her, which is about 1989. So, yeah, many wonderful years with them.
We were kids.
We were children.
All right. Well, Tim, thank you. Thank you all for being here today. Enjoyed the music. And again, Tim and the band at the Gray Eagle in Asheville this Sunday.
Yes, sir. We'll be there with bells on.